This is Grow by Design. Are you a business owner struggling with the direction of your company? Do you hesitate, wanting things to be perfect before you take action? Do you question your strength as a leader? If you answer yes to any of these questions, this is the show for you.
All right, we are back again. And today I am running a million miles an hour. I just finished a quote for one of our new potential clients for a project of regrading a backyard. And I'm just out kind of multitasking between everything. And it really reminded me of a thing that I realize is so important. We get so busy and inundated. Like today, a bunch of things change in the schedule. And I'm out here doing this, which there's nothing wrong with it. I think it's great. I love doing sales. I hope I can be out here more. But what happens is we get so freaking busy, and this happens to everyone, that we really start to falter, one, on our consistency, or two, on doing things that kind of matter the most. And so a perfect example of the faltering on things that matter the most is you can have a fire come up in your company, right? Whatever the situation is, someone's sick, someone quit, somebody important is no longer there, whatever the case may be, major issues on the job, and you can drop everything and just go put that fire out. But what are you potentially missing that is extremely important, that is something that you cannot let slip? So often we just run with it. We put out the hottest fire, and we just become, and I mean, I get that we are firefighters, but we have to realize, and we have to still stay cognizant of what fires we have on our docket, because just because it's the hottest in the moment doesn't mean it's the most necessarily important. And so we go to put out all these fires and say that we desperately need to. Perfect example is we've got XYZ fires going off. We don't have enough people in the office, and work needs to get scheduled for today. And we focus on 2 crews because they had the biggest reschedule load. But because the fire was so hot, we didn't make sure at least everybody's got one job to start. We focused on 1 or 2 crews because we just got so blinders that now we got 1 crew that's just sitting around waiting for information. And did we get everything perfectly filled out for the 2 crews? Yes, but we let someone sitting there wondering, when's my work going to show up? That's just one example. We've seen it in our company where we're desperate for help, but we're also so inundated that it's hard to schedule an interview, and we get in this rat race of fires that seem so pressing and so hot, really put out us taking care and doing the things that are going to really ultimately help us do better on all the things overall. And so that's what happens at this time of year. This happened so much when I really started growing the company and realizing in our first location in Illinois, what's the deal? Why are we always slow in August? Why is this happening? At first, I was so inundated with the fact that I was just slammed busy up until that point in August. I was so inundated with it that I couldn't even realize what was the actual reason. Why was this happening? And then after reflecting, because I just happened to make YouTube videos about being stressed in August, made it 3 years in a row, and the first and the last year happened to be on the same calendar date, whatever it is. And after a little bit of looking, what I finally put together, what happened is just in the spool up of the company, I focused so much on getting work sold, and then I had to shift gears to getting it produced because we were training, we were having problems, we were having fires, not enough people helping manage. And so what would happen is we'd take our eye off the ball of sales, and we'd end up without any work in August. And so with what I've already been mentioning, kind of giving examples over and over, taking your eye off some of the main things, some of the things that matter, in this case sales, led me into a position where we were desperate for work, and I was unable to even see any of that coming on my radar because there were still so many frantic fires to put out. And so I guess this is the message of don't let spring rush just become a frantic fire that keeps you from doing all the other things that matter. And everybody always says, well, everything matters. Well, that's fucking true. But some things matter more. And that's our task, especially as you get towards a management role or definitely as an owner, to determine what does fucking matter more. What is more important? Not everything is equally as important. Certain things have a higher rank and certain things have a lower rank. Some fires are burning hot, but it's really like, damn, we can only do so much, so why are we going to fret and spend time on that? Let's press forward on the things we can control. It's that control, knowing the difference between what you have control of and what you do not have control of is massive when it comes to craziness in business. So that's one side of it. Losing focus on some of the main things. Secondly, I said consistency. There is nothing in your life that you're going to get to that is badass, that you're fucking proud of, that doesn't come with consistency. Your health, your wealth, your relationship, your everything, all relationships. It's all from consistent contributions in working towards a thing. If we falter, right? Like, we can be consistent, that's the problem. It's easy to slip and be consistent in negative ways too, right? It's very easy to slip into alcohol, to suppress being stressed out or buried in anxiety. I've had friends that bury themselves in the bottle because of all their debt or whatever the case may be. It's very easy to slip into comforting yourself with food. It's very easy to lose the habit of getting up early and getting after it, getting in the gym, because sleeping in is taking a precedent because of all the pressures in your life. Especially when you're dealing with a time where things are just totally bonkers. It's spring rush. Everybody's going. So, one, don't lose track of some of the things that may matter the most. And two, don't let the franticness of life ruin your consistency. These are all things that the real tool here is to constantly monitor, tweak, and adjust, and be looking for what are those priorities. You do this with a priority list. Sometimes I'll write action lists, or I'll do our foundational 90-day planning process so I know what I need to focus on most, so it's very easy for me to wind back to the tasks that matter. That list also shows me where my consistency lies, right? Reading 10 pages a day of a book, training twice a day, doing X, doing Y. Excuse me. Spending a certain amount of time doing estimates, reaching out to people, making connections, having lunches, whatever those things are. But so much of this action in business, when we talk about consistency, it's just like getting fit. It doesn't happen overnight. You don't have abs after you work out for a week. And it can be very, very daunting that it's such a slow roll to getting to what you actually desired. And a lot of times people can't get enough gains fast enough that they lose interest. And I'm telling you, it's even freaking harder when you're slam busy with stuff up to the gills and you barely feel like you can breathe. So you have to figure out a way to not withdraw from things because you don't see the progress. Business is going to be an exceptionally long, brutal experience of a lot of mundane times where you do not see or feel the progress. But you have to have faith that the things you're doing, the actions that you set out that were important, are chipping away. They're grinding the stone. That you just keep beating that thing until it breaks. Because without that, you're the person who is mining for gold and stops an inch away from gold. Things are always, in crazy times like this, in the spring rush, if you're feeling inundated, pressured, too much work, too much calls, too much everything, too many people upset, too many employees pissed off, things are always the darkest before their light. But there is light at the end of every night. Like, that's one thing you can guarantee. If you can hold on, I didn't mean for this to just get motivational, but going a little motivational because I love mindset stuff. If you can just hold on for long enough, the sun is going to come up again and you're going to have another bright, beautiful day. But I promise you, the test of being a business owner is right before that is when it's going to be the most excruciating, the most painful, the most destroying personally, financially, physically, before that turns around. But all these things, these are all gauntlets and things that you have to push through and consistently maintain the ability to focus on the important things, to stay consistent and continue forward, because that's what's going to make you win. That's what's going to help you be successful in these times where it just feels so crazy busy. Staying consistent, staying on point with those tasks, and all you got to do for that, have an action list. Have items that are important every single day. Have that so when shit hits the fan, you can go right back to that. You tie that to even a little more organization with figure out how to operate your life with a digital calendar and write out on a planner every day what you're doing, where you plan your day before you start your day so you know you're going to finish your day well. If you start with the end in mind, now you're being proactive with each and every single day. The better you get at that, you might start with the end in mind with the week, and then maybe the month, and then maybe the year. And Jim Rohn said it, I believe it was, if you can plan your day, you're going to have a good day. If you can plan your week, you're going to have a pretty good year. If you can plan your year, you're going to have an exceptional, successful life. Something like that. It's just the story of the more you can plan, the more successful you can be. Because being proactive and being able to stay, and that helps your consistency because you've laid out what it is you need to do before you've even started. So stay consistent. Don't lose focus on the things that matter the most, and kick some ass in 2025. And do not stop.